Haunt Squad is on all of your favorite social media sites. You can find us at facebook.com/HauntSquad, twitter.com/HauntSquad, instagram.com/Haunt_squad, and search Haunt Squad on YouTube for podcast episodes and investigation videos. Stay spooky with Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad.
Good evening. Tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of déjà vu. That strange feeling we sometimes get that we've lived through something before. That what is happening now has already happened tonight. On It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of déjà vu. That strange feeling we sometimes get that we live... Anyway, tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of déjà vu. That strange... Good evening. Tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of déjà vu. That strange feeling we sometimes get. That we've lived through something.
In a world filled with supernatural phenomena, three explorers of the unknown answer the real questions concerning the field of paranormal investigation. Vinny Gomez, Natalie Jane, and Mike Wolfer guide you to the depths of paranormal studies, creepy movies, games, and comics, and more from the world of horror and geek culture. Turn out the lights, turn on your EMF detector, and prepare yourself for the Haunt Squad podcast.
Good evening. Tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of déjà vu. That strange feeling we sometimes get. That we've lived through something.
Natalie, you've got to look like one. Yes,
Hi.
Déjà Vu.
Haven't we done this before?
We did. I think it was episode 1.
Oh, we're Haunt Squad.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm Vinny.
I'm Mike.
I'm Natalie.
And we're taking you through the world of the paranormal, geek stuff, comic books, movies, anything creepy and haunting and horror and all that great stuff. How are you?
I'm good. Why don't you remind everybody who we are?
Oh,
No.
That's a little deja vu-ish.
Yeah, I'm good, to answer your question.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine.
Okay, so look, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing here. We've done, 20 episodes so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And over the last couple of months that we've been doing this, we've
Right.
been picking up a lot of new listeners. And if people are listening to our new episodes, they might be wondering, who the hell are these guys and what are they doing and I don't get it. We're a paranormal investigation group, but if you look at the episodes and listen to them, it looks like we're a movie review show,
Yeah.
which is fine because I freaking love it. And apparently you guys listening are enjoying it too, and we're kooky and wacky and all that. But I thought, you know what? It might be time for us to do sort of a recap episode to go back and talk about specifically our primary purpose.
Our goal.
At least the one that we thought was our primary.
Hey, we can do whatever we want.
That's right.
We have a lot of interests.
And we're Haunt Squad. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Enough said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we do that, though, we got a breaking news flash.
Breaking news flash.
Yes. Yes, the news flash is, if you guys have been following along, a few episodes ago, I talked about how I was having a little bit of trouble obtaining a business license to
Oh, yes, that's an important news flash, actually.
publish my comic books. In a nutshell, I had to get a license through the town of Wyoming in
Okay.
order to write and draw comic books in my own home. And there was someone in the neighborhood who objected to me having a business in my home.
Didn't like it.
Yeah, I went through a couple of meetings, lawyers were consulted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The final city council vote was last week, and they unanimously said, Diana, am I? They said yes. They said yes, not a problem. Get this goddamn business license.
So boom in your face, neighbor.
Oh, finally.
Yeah. Much ado about nothing.
Yeah. So now,
Yeah, so
do you
now
have,
I
do you have
can-
the license in your back pocket? Or
No, I don't. I still have to go down and pay for the business license, but
You got to pay for it.
I have to pay for it.
After all that, now you have to pay for the license.
Yeah, I had to pay
Like-
to apply for it. Now I have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So,
Well, congratulations
Yeah,
to
thank
be able
you.
to work out of your own home.
thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're not going to be living on the street with a bunch of cats now.
Oh, no.
Let's just say with cats, you wouldn't be living on the street with them anymore. They would just walk away and find somebody
You probably
else.
would.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. And they'd be better off than we would.
Wow, that was a massive win for you.
Yeah, I guess. You know, it's funny. When we walked out, there was people sort of kind of congratulating me. Hey, congratulations. Yeah, you killed it. Oh, you know, great job. And I thought, what? I didn't win anything because there shouldn't have been a contest in the first
Yeah,
place. You know?
True.
But whatever. I'm grateful, and now I can.
Did that one guy, did he object still?
He didn't show.
He didn't show up?
No,
Oh, okay.
he didn't show up.
No, smart of them.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Unfortunately, this conversation has to take a twist
What?
with some horribly, terrible, horrible news. It does horrible, terrible, horrible news.
What happened?
Newsflash number 2, you guys.
Oh, shoot.
2 days from now,
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah.
September 24th, 2015,
Yeah.
an apocalyptic event will occur that will have dire consequences for our planet.
Uh-oh.
We've been telling you about this for weeks.
Yeah.
According to beforeitsnews.com, a giant comet and or asteroid is going to be hitting the Earth 2 days from now. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous for us to do this recap episode because
this is-
after
Yeah,
Thursday,
that's
it's not
true.
going to matter.
I mean, sure, it hasn't morphed into a planet by now. I mean,
I don't know.
it's
You know
still-
what? I think it's Gorath.
Gorath.
Yeah, which is a big, huge planet. Depending on which Toho movie you watch, if you watch Gorath, it was an actual planet. If you watch Godzilla Final Wars, it was just a holographic projection. Anyhow, sorry. Yeah, so it's all coming to an end. We love you guys. Goodbye.
laters.
So wait, it's an asteroid or comet?
Yeah.
Comets? Well, can I just question this because...
No.
Oh.
There's really no real
Logic?
logic. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Can't
So,
make sense of it.
Anyhow, we're just gonna continue on.
Yeah.
Nothing on the horizon, and
Work as usual.
just
Yeah.
Yep. Have our
Party
usual.
like it's 1999.
So now on to the sexy body of the show. I don't know.
Okay. Everybody keep your clothes on.
Well, except for the listeners.
I'm just still...
You guys can
We
do
don't-
whatever you want.
They can do whatever they want.
I'm still worried about the comet and or asteroid. I'm a little shaken now.
It makes a
Yeah.
difference.
Sorry.
What is it? Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Okay.
It's really not.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen quick.
Yeah?
And before you know it, over and done. Boom.
Yeah.
And then we'll be on the other side.
We'll let you know how things are going.
And there's going to be people saying, "Can you tell us your name?"
Can you turn this flashlight on for us?
I'm going to knock on the wall, and I want to see if you can knock 2 times.
Shave and a haircut. Here we go.
But you know what? That's exactly what we want to talk to you guys about.
Why we're
Paranormal.
here.
Yes, paranormal investigating. What is it? Why is it? And why are we doing what we do?
Yeah.
We don't know.
And that's the end of the show, guys.
Yeah. So for me, my deal was I've always liked creepy stuff my whole life. Mm-hmm. Never really thought about ghosts as, like a real thing that I would ever meet one or anything like that.
Right.
It was just nothing I ever pursued until the shows came on TV, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures.
Right.
And I started saying, whoa, this looks pretty cool. And then I paid to go on a public investigation. Give them your $30 and you get to stumble around in the dark for a while. And I had some, what do you call it?
Experiences?
Yeah, experiences. And I said, hey, this is pretty cool. So I explored joining a group, and I did. And then I did that for many years, and I've had interaction with probably about 5 different paranormal investigation groups, all with their own unique styles, and I thought it was fascinating. A lot of it is not real, And that's part of the fun, is finding out what is natural and what is not.
In essence, I think that's what's more exciting with our group, is that we actually hunt for what is not real.
You have to.
Yeah. I've only worked with one group, but I've heard stories of other groups that will believe everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great time to go out and play pretend.
And creep yourself out a little bit and everything else. But in the end, you have to question yourself. You have to question what's going on around you, I think. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why the three of us formed this group, is because we want to question everything that's going on during an investigation and try to make it as foolproof as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and make it work.
Natalie got into it because I dragged her into it.
Well, yeah.
Kicking and screaming.
Yeah, end of my story. Yeah.
No, she was like, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Natalie, did you do it when you were younger, before you met Mike? Did you do anything like that as a kid, or were you into creepy stuff?
Yeah, I was definitely into creepy stuff. I always liked horror movies, and as much as my parents tried to keep me away from them, it didn't work. Sorry. As a kid, whether it was my imagination or not, I had my own experiences. You know, I don't know if they could be explained naturally or not, but I always kept that in mind, and just always had this curiosity. And then when I met Mike, that's what got me into the group. I'm like, okay, well, this is for real. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to see, does this have something to do with the afterlife or not?
Yeah.
It's just fun to explore.
What about you, Vinny?
I've always been interested in it. When the TV shows came out, I was a fan of it. But when I met you guys and the group that we dealt with prior, I was like, you know what? This seems like something I could actually do. We all talked, and I was invited into the group, and it was really cool. Had a great time with it. And from there, we kind of got into more of a questioning thing. I think that's what the three of us kind of agreed on. We should start questioning more. I was never into the creepy stuff, though. I always shied away from that.
Yeah.
I never watched Friday the 13th until the whole Halloween thing. Just, I don't know. It gave me nightmares.
Yeah. Hey, you're honest.
But
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I can watch
You
those
can
things.
handle it.
Yay! Well, the whole investigation process and what we do, what a lot of groups do, you guys who are listening, you might know of groups in your area who are paranormal investigation groups or ghost hunters, whatever you want to call them. Basically, what all of us do, gather up equipment, various kinds of devices, cameras, audio recorders, EMF detectors, infrared cameras and DVRs so that we can record the whole thing in the dark. Anything at our disposal we can get our hands on, we use. Give it a shot. Some of it might work, some of it might not. We have a lot of devices that we use that have never done anything. But we try it and see what happens. Sometimes we get results, sometimes we get nothing. It's a crapshoot every time. You never know.
It's always good to experiment as well.
And that's one of the things that I've been trying to push with us. We've had a little bit, now that we're on our own, we kind of have a little more freedom to explore. Not that we were ever discouraged from doing that, but it's, I don't know. It's a little more open environment, I guess.
Yeah, we're open-minded people.
Yeah.
And we're intelligent people.
Yeah.
So
Well, speak for yourself.
stop it.
The other thing is, though, we don't have to ask anybody if we can do this.
That's true.
I think that's where it is.
Yeah.
So
when you're in a large group, you do
kinda
have to get consensus. Yeah.
Some of the things that I've been pretty impressed with is some of the things that Mike have come up with, where he came up with a basin of sand.
Yeah.
That he put down in a room that was purported to be haunted, and just basically said, "Hey, if you want to say something or you want to do something, just do it in the sand here. Just move do whatever you want. Move the sand around."
Yeah, and the weird thing was, we found writing in that sand that said, "Why is there a kitty litter box here?" It hasn't worked yet, but you never know. You know, I mean, if we're dealing with, beings that are composed of energy, electromagnetic energy, there's probably magnetic properties in there that could possibly move around the bits of iron that are in sand. You don't know. You
gotta try.
I mean, we may not see a written word, but we might see a handprint, or we might see an indentation, or anything at all.
Right.
Give it a shot. On the most recent investigation we did of the Gray Fox Grill and Public House in Dover, Delaware, I rigged up what I call the bell curtain. It was just a big sheer piece of material and had little bells attached to the bottom corners, and we strung it up across the doorway just to see what would happen, to see if something could move the curtain or pass through it, and maybe the bells would ring, and it works.
Yeah, we got something. I think that's one we're going to keep in our little...
However, we're not going to say, hey, we have proof that there's ghosts because this curtain moved.
Right.
It's not proof of anything.
No.
It just means the curtain moved. So now, when we use it again, we start really scrutinizing the environment to try to eliminate all of the possible natural reasons why that curtain could have moved. Now, we did have all the windows shut, and it moved.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But we don't know. There might have been a crack somewhere, and there was, I mean, it wasn't windy outside or anything, but you don't know. You never know.
You got to study what we're utilizing to study our environment now. So now we study the curtain.
And, you know, it's kind of weird that we'll come up with a device that's going to give us a positive result, and then we start picking it apart to try to make it not work. You know?
That's
but
what
that's
we
what
do.
we have to do.
Because when there's no answer, then it's got to be paranormal.
Yeah.
It's just something else we study.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, we've been discussing new techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
Mike and I had discussed, I mean, I had thought about this a while ago. Why is it that sometimes we will hear something as plain as day on the audio recorder during playback, but we didn't hear it in the room? And this plays with frequencies and wavelengths.
Right.
Wavelengths. Wavelengths. And that also gets
And
into
it
color.
might be a werewolf. I'm sorry.
And that also, no, that's okay. It also gets into color.
Yes.
Color as well, because colors have a wavelength. And a couple days ago, I read this article about this color called haint blue. You'll see this color on a lot of porches on the ceilings of southern homes. And this was actually an African custom. And this color is supposed to keep evil spirits away. So you paint your porch, the ceiling like that.
I'm trying to remember what you were telling me. It has something to do with water originally? Is that what it was?
That's part of it. Supposedly, spirits cannot cross over water.
So are they using blue to maybe fool the spirits into...
I think so. Yeah, I think that was kind of a part of it. They also made these paints out of milk and lime. They would make these milk paints. And because they used lime in it, it also kept bugs away, which was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So that didn't have anything to do with the color. So that also kind of reinforced what I was kind of thinking, like, okay, are there certain colors that maybe repel spirits, let's just call them spirits, or invite them? Can spirits only travel on certain frequencies, wavelengths? I mean, does color have anything to do with it? I don't know, but I got to kind of organize my thoughts, and Mike was getting into that, and
now
something to experiment with.
A lot of the cameras that are used, we unfortunately don't have one because they're so expensive. The full spectrum camera, so you're shooting ultraviolet, your infrared. That's sort of what we're going for, but I'm thinking outside the box. What about the actual ambient color in the room? Could that have an effect? What if we're in a dark room and the only source of light is green or blue or yellow or red? Will we see something? Will we hear something? Because we don't know. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're dealing with. We have not a clue. So, with that criteria, why not use everything and try everything?
Sure.
You know what? Another idea. Natalie and I were discussing this the other day. We're talking about wavelengths, right? Why is it that we hear a voice on our recorder, or what sounds like a voice, recorded, but we don't hear it live? Well, because it's at a certain frequency that we can't hear. Okay. What if it's like a microwave frequency? What if we take, for example, let's say we're at the Gray Fox, right? You're upstairs on the 3rd floor with your cell phone. I'm in the basement with my cell phone. She calls me, right? We put both of our phones on speaker so that you can hear. And then we put recorders next to each phone. And we just let the phone call continue, just let it go. And go about our business. And see, is there any sounds that come through the phone that can be picked up on the recorder? I don't know. I've never heard of anybody doing that.
No.
Why not? Let's do it. You don't know.
We don't know.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and dial it.
I've also wondered if it was something with the construction of the building, the materials being used, where the building's placed. Because why are some buildings reported as haunted where others aren't? Every place on Earth has had some sort of death involved. Something has died here, whether it be an animal, a person, something. So
Sure.
why couldn't that? Why aren't all houses? Why aren't all dwellings haunted then? Why is one place more prone to being haunted than the other, or reported to be haunted?
And why don't we just go out in the middle of a cornfield and investigate?
Exactly.
True.
Why does it always have
Let's
to be
do
in a
it.
house?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of...
Yeah, are certain materials conductors for that? I don't know.
Okay, look, going by what they tell us on TV, apparently limestone has some connection to
Doesn't water as well?
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, running water.
Flowing water. Of course, flowing water, Dracula can't cross flowing
Well,
water.
thank
God.
Wait, what am I talking about? Aww. Aww.
I don't know. I guess that's why we're here to find out.
Yeah, test it out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. We do the experiments, make fools of ourselves, and we don't care.
We report the bad news back to you, or good news.
I'm going to take 3 lollipops and lay them out. Whichever one you like, lick it.
It might depend on the color, Mike. You don't
Exactly.
know. Whichever
I know.
So, during a podcast, when somebody asks us a question about a haunting or something, and we go, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's the truth. We
Yeah.
don't know. We
don't
have
know.
to experiment. So we go back to the lab,
Yes.
to the Haunt Squad lab.
Up here-
we have
up here in the
vault.
mansion.
We
Yeah.
have the vault. Now we have a Haunt Squad lab.
We do have a lab. We have
Yeah.
the relic room.
In the lab, we all have to wear white coats, even though there's no reason for it. We just do.
And you know what? I always wear glasses.
Goggles,
and
yes.
I have my hair in a ponytail.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do on TV.
And we have microscopes for no reason.
Yeah.
We just have them there.
Every once in a while, I'll just say, "Hey, Vinny, take a look at this." And I'll whip my glasses off and chew on the earpiece.
Yeah.
That's Haunt Squad. That's what we do.
So yeah, that's who we are. We question everything, and we even ask people, hey, if you've heard something that we didn't hear, and we're
Right, yeah.
didn't tell us.
Yep.
Let us know if you don't think it's something.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people send in questions, tell us their stories, and a lot of people have something that happened to them once at some point in their life, and it made them question, wow, what the heck was that? I don't know. Paranormal, weird, ghost, I don't know. We're doing the same thing,
Yeah.
except using cheap scientific equipment we bought on the
That's
internet to explore it. You know, like laser grid pens, you know?
Hey, now hold on a second. I love the laser
I
grid
know.
pen.
I do too.
We get the uns party going.
Yeah, yeah.
The rave.
So there you go.
That's us.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
your recap.
You know, I feel like we've done that before.
I don't think so.
Déjà vu, maybe.
Question everything.
Hola. All right. Our first question comes from the Vinny Massaro at Snoring Elbow. Lucha
You know who that
Click.
is, right?
Hey, that's the guy I talked to on the phone that one time.
Yeah. Lucha Underground wrestler, man.
Yeah.
Luchador.
Yeah.
So Vinny asks all of us, what is the best horror remake?
In our
Oh,
opinion.
boy. Whew. If you've been listening to previous episodes, that's kind of a touchy subject with some of us, me.
Yeah.
However,
Uh-oh. The
I've got
finger
some-
of authority
I've
went
got
up.
some good ones, though.
You got...
I do.
Oh, you have some?
Yeah.
I only have one. By the way, I just want to let the audience know, we never actually congregate when we are trying to make a decision as to what's the best episode or what episodes we enjoy or what movies we enjoy. We never say anything to each other until the day of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just to kind of surprise each other.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Natalie and I did go over this together.
Oh, you...
Well, after the fact, we
Because-
picked them, and then after, because I can never pick just one thing.
Yeah, but my 3 that I picked are on her list. So.
Yeah,
But
so-
she's got a lot of good ones.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. My number one
Go for it.
would be the Halloween remake by
Oh, Halloween.
Halloween.
I thought you said The Howling.
No.
Like, wait.
Okay, the guy who played Mike Myers was a beast.
Yeah, Tyler Mane.
He played Sabretooth
Yes,
in
he
the first
did.
X-Men. Huge guy. And scared the hell out of me, even more so than the original.
The whole movie itself?
No, just the guy.
Oh.
Just the guy. He scared the hell out of me. I was like, wow, that guy is a monster. And the movie was done really well. Rob Zombie just does some really good work.
You've seen the original Halloween.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about the change in the story, like the padding that was done? I mean, you didn't have a problem with
No,
the...
not really. I think they expanded a little bit more on Myers in the new one, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, they made it more so you understood who he was and why he was, as opposed to the original where he's just this maniac.
You know, when you do a remake, you don't want to make the same movie twice. So
No.
you do want to add some things that weren't there before. I like the new Halloween.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but I prefer the original.
Sure.
Because I really like
Knowing.
not knowing.
Yeah.
You know? I don't want to know too much about Michael Myers' childhood other than what Dr. Loomis had to say, you know?
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Good enough. That's all I need.
But I liked seeing the little boy and how creepy he was as a little boy too. So I don't know, kids kind of creep me out a little bit as well, and
Yeah.
that really scared me.
Yeah.
So that would be my favorite remake, and then my honorable mention would be the Amityville Horror. I think we discussed it
Oh,
a
yeah,
while
yeah.
back.
Yep.
That would be my honorable mention.
Yeah.
I thought it was well done. I like Ryan Reynolds in the part.
Yeah, the
Played a
hot
real
Ryan
creep.
Reynolds,
God damn, you're right. Yeah, that would be my
I only
honorable
have eyes for you, baby.
Aw.
What about me?
Stop it.
So those are my favorites.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I'm going to throw one out there.
You okay?
I'm just going to throw it up right now.
Let me get my catcher's mitt.
The Fly.
Not
Wow,
bad.
dead silence
Yes.
again.
Not
What's with you
bad.
guys?
What?
I'm expecting
That's
like
on my
confetti to
list.
start flying.
I'll be honest with you. That's a damn good call.
It was gross.
It was a disgusting movie, but it was a great remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was 1958. Of course, Vincent Price was in it. He wasn't, you know, in the main role, but he's always cool. David Hedison was the scientist dude that got turned into the Fly. He was doing a teleportation experiment, and he put himself in the little booth, and he was trying to teleport himself across the room. There was a fly in there with him. So he got the fly's head and a hand, and the fly, well, help me. Man, that movie scared the hell out of me when I was little because they kept a sheet over his head, so they would bring him food, and he would have that thing over his head. You didn't really see what he looked like, and he would just lower his head to the dish, and you heard. Oh my God, it was scarier than seeing him. And then, of course, the last scene with the spider web thing
Yeah.
with the little fly with the human head. Oh my God, horrible. David Hedison, though, who played the Fly, really cool guy. I met him at a convention. Very, very nice guy. He was also on Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which I loved that show when I was a kid.
I did.
You guys
watch
probably
it,
neither
no.
have seen it. But the remake that David Cronenberg did in '86 with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. That movie, I felt horrible when I walked out of that. I felt dirty. I felt like flushed and sweaty and just like I wanted to take a shower, and I felt so bad, and oh God, it was so sad. And
It was sad. It was gross and it was sad.
God,
I do love some of the parts of that movie when he had the medicine cabinet filled with all his body
Oh,
parts.
yeah.
The was it the Brundlefly?
Brundlefly.
The Brundlefly Museum of gross stuff. It just really was gross.
Yeah. So I mean, that was one that I didn't mind. The expansion on the original story gave it some tweaks that would have been totally out of bounds back in 1958. So, onward, you.
Well, I have a number one, but I'm not going to say it. So I'm going to go with some other ones. I really enjoyed the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Ooh.
A lot.
Only seen the original.
You should see the remake.
Okay.
It's different.
Is it the same story?
You know what? No, not really. They only kind of touch on the experiments, like the nuclear toxic.
It's still in the desert.
It
right?
is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have the guy that does the voice, Candy Cane.
Nice.
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill. That's awesome.
Put the lotion in the basket. I can't do that voice, but I can do Candy Cane. I'm an idiot.
Cracks me
You're a
up.
big fat person.
So yeah, The Hills Have Eyes. I liked it a lot.
Nice.
That's cool. That's cool. I'll have to. Do you have that? Did you?
Yes.
Did
We
you
do
get
have
that?
it. We have it. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. We'll put that on the list with Versus and Pontypool and all the other ones that I've got to see.
Yes.
One of these days, when you can wrestle control of the DVD player
Seriously,
from me.
what the heck are we in the middle of watching? Oh, no, it's Godzilla.
Godzilla
so that's okay.
2000
yeah,
right
I'm
now.
okay with that.
The other night we watched Green Slime.
Again, Mike, again. The only good part of that movie is the theme song.
You'll believe it when you find something screaming across your mind. Green slime.
Because I'm going to put it in.
It's a
yeah.
kick butt jammin' soulful theme song. It is. Should I keep going? Because I seem to have a longer list. Okay.
Go ahead, yeah.
Funny Games. I did see the original. And the
Oh,
same
okay.
director remade it 10 years later.
Really?
Yes. That's the funny part about it, is he remade it with Tim Roth and Naomi Watts.
Really?
Yeah. And it's...
Was it like more of a... it was a lower budget, and then they had a bigger budget, and they remade it?
I believe so, yeah.
Same
I'm really
story?
fuzzy with... It's same story.
Okay.
I'm just really, really fuzzy with the original, because I didn't know any of the actors. So, you know.
What is that about?
Okay, not gonna get totally into it, because I don't like giving plot summaries. But a family is terrorized by two men, and you have Tim and Naomi, husband and wife, and basically... You know, people either love or hate this movie, because some people say, oh, it's pretentious. No, I take it for what it is. They're doing everything wrong that you would expect people to do wrong in a horror film. You're like, wait, you could pick that up and bash the guy, but he's not going to do it, and it's kind of like wrong decisions are being made. And honestly, I found it more, like, I guess you call it a black comedy. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. Like, people consider it a horror film. I wouldn't say it's totally horror. You know, it's like a thriller and stuff like that, but... You know, it's part of the genre, but yeah, it's quite interesting, and it has a really weird, strange, cool twist to it that I'm not going to reveal.
Okay.
But if you want to be frustrated, watch it.
Oh.
Because you're just like, why is she doing that? Why isn't she doing this? And same thing, it's like, oh my god, yeah.
Like in so many movies, has the knife, and they stab and stab and stab the bad guy, and they fall down, and then
They drop
the
the
knife.
Yeah, and sleep next to the victim that wakes up and stabs them to death. It's like, what are you doing?
Wait a
Who
minute.
does that?
What?
So anyway, Funny Games. That's
Okay.
another one on the
Okay.
list that I like. Okay, I guess I'll do one more.
Oh, please?
Okay. Okay, so I would say maybe like my two least best favorites.
I'm lost.
Yeah. Would be
Oh, I get it.
the remake of Ju-on, which is The Grudge, with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. Cool.
That wasn't bad. It was good. And then I actually did not mind. This is, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't mind the remake.
Okay.
It doesn't hold a candle to the original.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I will just say that it was good.
I loved the remake. I'm kidding. I never saw it. Same story?
Yeah, there's some changes here and there, but yeah, essentially the same story. Yeah.
So, Mike, what about you?
Here's one. Da Blob.
Good stuff. I
Nice.
enjoyed that a lot.
That's not bad.
Now the original, 1958. Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
Hey,
The King of Cool.
we all know what it's about, right? It's about a big blob.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Hey, you know what? Trivia time. You know where they shot that?
No.
Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
It's about 40-minute drive from here.
Okay.
It's right over the border.
Oh, I know where that
We
is.
should go to Downingtown and just say,
Downingtown.
"Da blob."
Okay.
But the remake,
Yes.
that was cool.
It was. I enjoyed it. Mhm.
1988.
Okay.
Kevin Dillon
Yep.
was in that, and what was her name? Shawnee Smith.
Yes.
It was pretty much the same story, but the new Blob was cool. Although the old Blob, the effects were really good too.
Yeah, I had no problems with that. Yeah.
You know what was? Here we go.
Okay.
You know what the best thing about the Blob was?
What?
The opening theme. Have you ever heard it?
I don't remember it.
I have.
I don't remember it.
Dun, 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 dun. It's like ridiculous.
Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob.
Well, I'll tell you what was most horrifying to me is when they were down in the sewer
In the new one.
and the boy got killed.
Yeah.
The friend got. It was actually kind of horrifying that this kid got brutally killed by the blob.
Yeah,
I'm laughing. I'm laughing. It's terrible.
the phone booth scene. Shawnee Smith was stuck in a phone booth, and it was just like,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a part where somebody had gotten eaten and then they tried to get out, and when they did, they were like skeleton or
Yes.
almost,
And body
Yeah,
parts.
weird.
Try to pull them, and their arm just kind of comes out of
Yeah.
it and stuff. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
remember that actually.
No,
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's in there.
maybe I'm thinking.
I
of
think
a
it was
different
Shawnee
Blob movie.
Smith's boyfriend. Was it her? The guy that played her boyfriend?
Yeah.
Like he got sucked up in. I don't know.
What about there was a part in it also where the guy was looking into a sink and then it's framing
Yes.
his face and then pulled him down into the
That
sink.
was great.
You know, speaking of sinks, there was wow. There was a sequel to The Blob called Beware the Blob or Son of Blob, 1971.
Okay.
Get this. It was directed by Larry Hagman. Worst direction I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god.
Did we see that together?
I think we did.
With the
There were-
cat. There was a cat in the.
There was a the cat at the beginning. the kitten.
Meow,
The kitten is like
meow.
playing with the blob and its paws sticking to it, and it's like, oh, what's going on? But there was a scene with a sink with a dirty hippie guy, and I'm making air quotes, comes in for a haircut in a barber shop, and and the sink fills up with blob, and the barber like puts his head backward in the sink to wash his hair, and but yeah, terrible movie.
It was. From
The
what I
Blob was
remember.
cool. The first 20 minutes was Godfrey Cambridge, like sitting around his house watching TV and stuff. I don't know what the
Yeah.
hell was going on.
Yeah.
Very strange movie. But get this. Here's the cool connection. One of the 3 special effects technicians that did the Blob effects in Son of Blob, a guy named Dean Cudney. He later was cinematographer on Halloween, The Thing, and Jurassic Park.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So you start off working with Blobs and Larry Hagman, and then, you know, you don't know where your career's going.
It went better for him as it went on, didn't it?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So there you go.
Nice.
Little Mike Wolford trivia for you.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. Really probably don't care about, but
More
I
you
do.
know.
That's
Yeah.
why I like it doing this show, because I get all this trivia from him, and then I go back and say, hey, guess what? And they go look at me funny when I give them the answer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vinny Gomez is an idiot.
He's a real dummy.
Why would he think I care about that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him? Do you have another one?
I do, but it's your favorite. It's my favorite.
It's my favorite.
Ooh.
And I just mentioned it.
Yeah.
The Thing.
Oh!
The Thing.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Seriously.
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Can it get any better? Can a remake get any better than The Thing? John Carpenter's Thing.
No.
The original movie was called The Thing from Another World, 1951. Howard Hawks and Christian Nyby directed that. Actually, there's a little bit of controversy about who actually directed it. Christian Nyby was listed as director, but there's gossip that perhaps he didn't direct it, that it was actually Howard Hawks. But they said he directed it just so he could get his Directors Guild membership. So I don't know, whatever. Somebody directed the hell out of that movie, though. Kenneth Tobey. I mean, the original one was great. I really loved how they did the overlapping dialogue. They were constantly talking over each other. And there was important conversations in the background, while 2 characters in the foreground are going, I'd like another cup of coffee. What about you? You know, and it's like, wait, shh, I can't. They're talking science back there. And It was great, man.
Yeah.
The tension in that was incredible. James Arness as the Thing, he was pretty cool. But you know, what they did with the 1982 The Thing that Carpenter made, that was actually based on the original story. It was a novel called Who Goes There by John W. Campbell. And the change they made in the original movie was they made it this human form. James Arness. He's like the super carrot. He's like has vegetable qualities about him. That's not what the original story was about. The original story was this thing from space that absorbs other creatures and takes on their properties and physical characteristics and is goopy and gross, and that's what Carpenter did. Went back to the original idea. So, you know, it's the same story, but it's like two different takes, and I love both of them. Absolutely love them.
I remember watching the original with my dad. That was one of our movies, and it was, you know, scary to a certain point. But what scared me the most was the ending, when that guy was giving that ominous message at the end about, you know, watch the skies.
Yeah.
That scared me more than anything. It scared me more than the monster itself. I was just like, oh my god, this is horrible. I have nightmares, which I didn't, but I think about that, and it was just, it was such a scary message. And then the new one, I saw that about a year after it came out. And so again, I'm probably about 5. So I saw it when I was about 6.
God.
We saw it, my aunt played it because she had this awesome, you know, projector and a huge movie screen, you know, because she was single, had no kids, and had money. So she had all this really cool stuff, and she'd always invite us over to watch movies.
Let that be a lesson to you.
So I have to admit, I did cover my eyes a couple of times when the Thing was coming out of the dog, when it came out of the guy's head.
Stan Winston did the dog.
Phenomenal.
Rob Bottin did all the other stuff, but Stan Winston did that crazy dog with the head splitting open.
But the worst was when they were all getting tested, and they were
Yeah.
sitting next to one
It's
another, and they
awesome.
were tied down, and that guy, it just starts coming out of him, and he gets what I call spaghetti arms.
Yeah.
They're all stringy, and he's going like this, and they're whipping over. I'm just like, that was horrifying.
Yep.
I screamed.
Yep.
I screamed. And even now when I watch it, we saw it on El Rey. They've been playing it lately. And so I just looked and I'm like, spaghetti arms.
Now, there was the 2011 remake of the
Remake or a prequel, because it was, I don't know what it was supposed to be, but I didn't enjoy it so much.
I didn't even bother watching it.
It was
Have you heard the inside scoop
mediocre.
about that?
No.
About the effects on
No.
that? Okay, here's the deal. When they made that movie, Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. of Amalgamated Dynamics, they did the effects for the 2011 Thing.
Okay.
And they were all practical effects. And they worked their asses off and came up with some incredible, scary stuff, all completely replaced by digital.
No.
Wow.
They were, of course, naturally very disappointed, and a lot of people were disappointed. So all what you saw in that movie, all the effects, were they cool? Were they okay?
They were all right, yeah.
But they were originally all shot with practical effects right there, and I guess they just digitally superimposed over them.
Now, I'd like to see the original of that. Like,
Well,
is that available?
They've released the footage that they did. Or actually, I'm not sure if it's the actual footage, but at least they put some stuff on YouTube to show people what the effects actually look like. And from there, they got such a huge reaction from people saying, damn, you guys are awesome, you should do more. And they got the money together to do a movie called Harbinger Down in 2015. Lance Henriksen was in it.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. The reviews are kind of like, it's okay. But it's some people, they're on a ship, there's an alien organism that is taking on the human forms and the forms of stuff, and it's goopy and gloppy and blah, 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 blah. So in effect, it's kind of like The Thing.
Nice.
But it's not called The Thing.
Right.
So I do want to check it out because
Yeah.
I really would like to see
Whoa.
what they put together as far as effects for that.
And it stars Lance Henriksen.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Enough said.
Yeah.
Said.
Pumpkinhead. Sorry.
Bishop.
Yeah, so there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my 3. There's others.
I'm sure.
There's
Yeah.
others, but those are the 3 that jumped out for me.
All right, our next question is from Lucha Chef at Chef Lucha.
Oh, yeah.
Aw, this is a question for me.
Oh.
He asks, why are cats the best ever? And why did we both name our cats Freya? Hashtag spooky click.
His cat's named Freya.
Yes. He spells it differently, but it's the same thing. His is Freya. E-Y-A, and ours is F-R-E-Y-J-A. No big deal. It's spelled a few different ways. There's Norse, Old Norse, all that great stuff. So why are cats the best ever? They just are. They just are. That's just who they are. They're beautiful
cool.
beings. And remember, I'm going to forget it now. What is it that Terry Pratchett said? His quote, something about...
Cats are awesome.
Cats. Cats were once revered as gods. Something like that. And
Yeah.
to this
And
day,
they've not
basically-
forgotten
They've not
that.
forgotten.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
No, they haven't. No, they are.
Cats are dicks. I think that's why I like them. They're so cool.
Well, I think they're more like humans.
Yeah.
You know, they're more like me. I guess I'm a dick. I don't know. So here's a funny story. When we first found Freya, we thought that she was a boy.
That's right.
We thought that she was a boy. And Mike had to go through this huge rescue effort to get her. First of all,
I am the hero of cats.
you have totally earned that title. I found her. She was running in between our houses, between ours and the neighbors. And I heard this meowing, and I looked outside of our bedroom window, and there she was, looking up at me. Oh, Mike, and we already had 3 cats, and we had 2 dogs at the time, and nope, our ferret was gone. So Mike went out. It was about, 2.5 hour, 3 hour rescue effort.
At least.
Brought her back in, and not going to get into all the technical stuff, but we thought that she was a boy.
Yeah.
So we named her Apollo.
Apollo.
Because
Yeah.
it was a bright sunny day, and he just had this thing about her. Apollo just fit her. So about a week and a half later, we take her to the vet. She's a girl.
Yeah, they know what they're doing there.
And we're so funny. We're like, are you sure? Because we felt so stupid. Like, how in the heck could we confuse that? But I'm telling you, there was some confusion. So, things were just looking like certain things.
So we decided to change her name to Apollonia.
Right. We changed her name. And now to think of it, we didn't really have to change her name. But I just, when it comes to naming animals and naming them after always gods and goddesses or mythological figures, I just keep it gender specific.
Yeah.
You don't have to, nothing's wrong with that, but I'm just saying that's just how I operate. So
Sure.
we changed her name to Freya. And I wanted to spell it more the Old Norse way. So she has a J in there. And Freya is the Norse goddess of war, death, and sorcery. She's known for being the goddess of lust and love and all this and that. People forget, she was a Valkyrie. And she oversaw the Valkyries.
Oh.
And the funny part is, she has a chariot pulled by cats.
Oh.
And I said to Mike, because she was trying to run things in that house. She
Yeah,
was
she
running
was.
Echo and Nick's Ragged at first. And I said, yeah, she's going to own those 2 cats, So it was just kind of funny. She's normally seen pulled in a chariot by either 2 gray or 2 black cats.
What is Echo again?
Echo and Nyx are sisters. Echo is actually Greek. She's a woodland nymph, lived in Mount Kithaeron. I'm not going to say that right.
Kithaeron.
There's a story there.
Right.
Zeus was a canoodling, trifling god. They all kind of were, kind of, sort of,
Yeah.
Noodling. I like that word.
He liked to have affairs with the nymphs because they're all beautiful, beautiful nymphs, okay?
Well, sure.
And so, what the heck? So, Hera would spy on him once in a while, and she found him canoodling.
This is sounding creepy.
And Echo came to his defense, and Hera knew that she was lying, and so gave her the curse of you can only repeat the last few words that people say.
Oh.
So
I learned something.
So you get into the whole
Wow.
mythology of Echo and Narcissus. She was in love with Narcissus. Narcissus, he was canoodling too. He would have affairs with all the woodland nymphs, and he would always reject them. He couldn't commit because he's narcissistic. He's too in love with himself. So he pushed her advances away, and she ran away to the mountains and actually became a part of the stone, and only her voice remains. Hence, Echo, Echo, Echo.
So this is all our
Mind-blowing.
This is all our kittens, or that was?
This is...
Oh, you were talking. That was the myth.
What's the myth?
Because I was like, I didn't see any of that. What?
No, that didn't really
Okay.
happen to our Echo. And it's kind of cute because she was kind of an Echo. She would go up and down our hallway, meow, wow, meow, wow. And then we would say, meow, wow. And then she would say, meow, wow. So it fit. So Nyx, who is her sister, that's also Greek. She is...
Dirty Nick.
Dirty Nyx. She is the goddess of night. And she's a tuxedo cat. She's almost, if she sits like a loaf of bread, she looks like a completely black cat. But when she, stands up, she does. She has a little like white bib. She has her puppet mouth. We won't get into puppet mouth. She's puppety. Puppet mouth is the cutest thing ever. Her front paw, she has little white glovelets, and then she has her go-go boots.
Go-go boots,
as Mike calls them. That is Nyx, and from her came Hypnos and Thanatos. Hypnos is the god of sleep, and Thanatos is the god of death.
Is there going to be a test on this?
No, I just enjoy this stuff. This is my jam. Okay, so we also have Chentico.
Yeah.
Mike totally picked that out himself.
I did.
He totally did.
Natalie wanted to name her Patches.
No, I did not. I wanted to name her
Patches.
Boots. Tiger.
Oh my God.
No, all of my animals are named. Like I said, no, I don't play that.
Yeah.
So Mike named her, and this is actually an Aztec goddess.
Yes.
And she's the goddess of fire. She's the protector of the home and of volcanoes.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you named her well because she growls at everything.
Yeah.
She is very protective.
Yeah.
She's great with the other cats.
Like
She's
the
really in
ice
her
cream
place.
man came by the other day. Yeah.
And then we have our stray cat that we haven't taken in because he's wild. I don't think he'll ever be an indoor cat. We've named him Chaos.
He's chaos, man.
He's a completely black cat.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I said if I was a cat, he'd be my boyfriend. We'd go on adventure. We'd be like Bonnie and Clyde, like Sid and Nancy. So Chaos is also a Greek god, and it's the first thing ever in existence, basically. The primeval void. Did I say that right? Primeval.
Sure.
Primeval. It was the first of anything. And actually, we joke that Echo and Nyx could have come from him.
It's possible.
And Nyx is actually the daughter of Chaos. Came from Chaos. Yeah, not through another goddess.
Right.
But, weird things happen with
We
gods.
don't know.
So, yeah, that's the history of... Well, I consider my cats, mine and Mike's cats, because there was one before I came along.
Well, there was Ringo.
I like
Ringo
Ringo.
was there. No lie, I'm not kidding. He's probably about 25 to 30 pounds.
Yes.
Humongous. We think he's got some Maine Coon in him. He's humongous, huge, fluffy.
He's polydactyl.
Oh, yeah.
Jazz hands means polydactyl, Mike.
Yeah. He's a pterodactyl.
No, he's Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah.
I like Ringo.
Yeah. And they all work for Amalgamated Dynamics.
But Ringo has a great personality. He's very chill.
Ringo's like the most laid
He's awesome.
back.
He is.
Yeah,
I see.
he's really cool. And yes, he does have, he's actually got 6 toes on each front
He's a
foot.
mutant?
Yeah, so he's got that extra toe, but each extra toe is split into 2 more toes.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't know. He can
he has
count.
2
He can
nails.
count really high. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And his name came from Rock Band, the commercials they would run
Those
for the
British dudes?
video game Rock Band.
I was gonna
They
say,
did like
yeah.
they did a Beatles expansion
Okay.
thingamajiggy. So there was commercials on. We were trying to think of a name for the cat, and they were like, the Beatles and John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And my daughter was like, Ringo is a pretty funny name. So we went with that. But we had 2 before we decided on that. One was Kloddish-Holmen.
Okay.
I came up with that. It's like a Swedish village and island. Yeah, Kloddish-Holmen, because I like the thought of having umlauts in his name. The other one, we were trying to pick a name, and I say, hey, let's just open the phone book. Close your eyes, open the phone book, and point to a name. I really wanted to name him Anthony Perez, because that's what I came up with. How cool would that be?
I said that I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you guys would have named him Anthony Perez because I said it sounds like he's like some model or some pop star or even like some high-end salon owner. You know what I mean? That would do like awesome ombre hair. I mean, it just sounds very regal, very fancy. Anthony Perez. I like it.
Yeah, so,
Got Ringo.
Yeah.
That's
I
okay.
still think he's an Anthony Perez. Or a Kloddish-Holmen.
So what would you call him? What would his nickname be?
Claude.
I have 3. You guys have too much time in your hands
Big time.
looking up the names of gods and goddesses. And God. Indy was our first. She's like 16 years old.
Is that because she's from Indianapolis?
No.
Oh.
When we got her, she was very independent of herself.
Oh.
So she wouldn't, we would like, put her in the kitchen and we'll rope her off from the rest of the house. Nope, she jumped over the thing and she wanted to, She was always able to do everything by herself, and she would. So we named her Independence, or Indy for short.
Nice.
Oh, I was thinking Indiana Jones.
Everybody says the same thing. Indy. We
I was
named the
thinking,
cat.
I was
Indy.
thinking the race, the Indy 500. That's like, was she zooming around or something?
No,
Was she
looking at
fast?
her, she does not run. Indy
Yeah.
does not run for anyone.
All right.
So that's Indy, and in Hercules, he's a tiger striped tabby. You rarely see him. The only time you see him is at night or when you're alone. He comes out. When we got him, he was a little tiny. He was about as big as my hand, and his ears were huge, and he had big paws. And we had just seen the Disney movie Hercules, and he had big ears and big feet. So, we had him. We took him over to the vet, and they fell in love with him. He was a charmer. He's a charming little cat. So we said, we're going to call him. Oh, well, he's got big paws and big ears. Let's call him Hercules. The wrong name for him because he is the biggest. He's afraid of everything. Everything. You walk upstairs, Hercules, boom, he's gone. You won't see him. So we have him, and he's 15 years old. Wow. And then we got Mackenzie. Mackenzie's the youngest out of them. She's 8, going on 9. And I found her. She was on the engine of the truck I was driving. I had just turned it on, and it's running and warming up, and I what is that? So I'm like looking under the truck to see what it was, and can't find it. So my friend goes, open the hood, and there she is, getting burned. Her paws were burned from the engine.
Man.
So I grabbed her, and I took her around with me doing my run, and trying to give her away to somebody, and nobody would take her. So the whole day, by the way, she was climbing all over me.
She chose you.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. So at the end of the day, I call my wife and I say, I guess we have another cat. And while I'm on the phone with her, she's meowing. So my wife goes, What did you find? Another one? Yeah. So we took her and had the vet check her out, and she was in good shape. And my wife says, well, what are we going to name her? And I said, well, she was found on a Mack truck. Let's name her Mackenzie. But she does not know Mackenzie because she gets called Pretty Girl and Sweetie Cakes and any other name other than Mackenzie. You call her Pretty Girl, Mackenzie. Nothing. She doesn't even look at you. Hercules, he knows his name. Hercules, come here. He looks at you and he comes over if he's in the mood. Indy, she don't care about anyone.
But she also has trouble hearing now, right?
Huh? Yeah, she's gone deaf. That's funny. Before you guys stopped by, I was vacuuming. She's laying in the middle of the floor watching the vacuum.
Yeah.
She wouldn't move, nothing. Now, she won't move. Prior to this, she was out of the room. She can't hear anything. She doesn't care. So that's how I came up with the names, or how we came up with the names.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of our cats were strays. We rescued all of our babies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So between the three of us, we've got, 38 cats?
Yeah. That's what we'll end up with. Oh, boy. Oh, I don't know why we named both of our cats for how that happened, but
I don't know.
it just happened. Yeah.
I don't know. Hashtag spooky click.
All right.
Okay.
So our last question is from Gary Fisher in Sydney, Australia. Of all these Hanna-Barbera mystery cartoons, which was your favorite? Scooby Doo, Jabba Jaws, Speed Buggy, Josie and the Pussycats, Clue Club, The Funky Phantom, or The New Shmoo Show?
Oh, boy.
I was hugely into the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. So Scooby-Doo was like top. Top. Love Scooby-Doo. Until I realized now that I'm older what Scooby really was, But
What was he really?
What was he really?
well, Shaggy was actually, he was into things that
Organics?
Yeah, organics. There you go.
Hemp research.
There you go.
You had the smart girl, Velma, and then Daphne was like the ditzy girl, and then you had the football type jock guy who was Fred, and then Scooby, who we weren't really sure if Scooby was actually talking because it could have been all the organics that Shaggy was getting involved in. They were always eating and everything else. But
That mysterious puff of smoke that came out of the van.
but I enjoyed Scooby Doo a lot. But I loved when they would cross over with Josie and the Pussycats.
Mm-hmm.
And they even did what was it, Speed Buggy? There was one called
Speed Buggy.
Speed Buggy.
Speed Buggy.
Yep.
They also had one with them at one time. So yeah, I liked Scooby was my first. Josie and the Pussycats were my next one.
Josie and the Pussycats or Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space? Or both?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Really?
There was two.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Josie and the Pussycats was only on, I don't have the info in front of me,
No.
but I don't know, like maybe 2 years, 3 years or something,
Oh.
and then they changed it to Pussycats in Outer Space.
Really didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Most of their output, when they were really banging on all cylinders, Hanna-Barbera, most of it was like early 70s, mid-70s.
Mm-hmm.
That was my time. That was like way before you, Natalie. You weren't even born yet.
No, I wasn't.
That's the stuff that I was watching. Not all of those that Gary listed, but, you know, obviously, yeah, Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Of course. And then the Scooby Doo movies or whatever when they had, you know, like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
Don
yeah.
Knotts,
Those were fun,
and
yeah.
Phyllis Diller.
Batman and Robin. Jerry Reed. Yeah.
Those were cool.
Those are all my favorites. I love those.
I didn't watch a lot of the mystery-themed ones, though.
Right.
Not really. I went for, like, monsters and Groovy Ghoulies and
Okay.
Johnny Quest, of course,
yeah.
was like freaking awesome. The original, way back with the Alex Toth designs for you comic book fans out there. Herculoids, did you ever see that?
No,
No.
never
The
heard of it.
Herculoids?
No.
They were on this planet. The dude looked like, kind of like He-Man in a sense.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
And there was Gloop and Gleep. They
Yep,
were like
I
the
remember
two
them.
yellow
Yes.
blobs, and the big rock dude, and then the Triceratops with one horn that shot like,
out stuff.
like rocks out of its horn. That was cool.
Yeah.
Hong Kong Phooey. You
Yes.
ever hear that?
No.
Uh-huh.
It was cool. He was a dog. He was a janitor. But he turned into, you know, like a martial arts dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was awesome. There was one called Valley of the Dinosaurs in '74.
Okay.
It was only on for a year. And it was a great, cool premise. There was a family. There was a guy and his son and his daughter. And they're taking a rafting trip, right? They're going down the river. And like the raft overturns and they get sucked into this portal thing that takes them back in time. And they're in the land of dinosaurs. And it was Land of the Lost. It's the same thing. It was the same thing. But I watched that. I loved that. Goober and the Ghost Chasers. Did you ever hear of that one?
Goober and the
No.
Ghost Chasers.
Yeah, that was on for 2 years. And what it was there was a group of like teenagers. And they were kind of like paranormal investigator kind of things. They looked for mysteries and stuff. And they had a dog with them that could kind of talk.
Oh.
And it was Scooby Doo. I mean, it was the same. It's the same thing. It was crazy, and it was from Hanna-Barbera. So I don't know what they were thinking. Like, yeah, it worked once. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Even though I think Scooby Doo was probably still on at the time.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you?
I didn't watch much of Hanna-Barbera stuff. Most of these I never even heard of. I've heard of Scooby Doo, watched it a little bit, so I'm going to go a little off topic. I used to watch the Flintstones. Flintstones I probably watched more than anything.
Was that was Hanna-Barbera?
That's Hanna-Barbera.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then later on, Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls. I
Wow.
watched Powerpuff Girls a lot. I like that the best.
Yeah, that was really cool. And
Yeah.
Dexter was really cool too.
They always talked really fast in Dexter.
Yeah.
Everything was done really fast. Oh, I couldn't follow.
If I'm remembering correctly, they did there was an episode of Dexter where he was like a giant mecha robot and he was fighting giant monsters.
Didn't see that
You didn't
one.
see that one?
No.
It was like Pacific Rim. It was
wow.
awesome. That was a great episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
What about one of my favorites? The Banana Splits. Natalie gives me a look. We watched this over our friends Mike and Tara's.
That's nightmarish.
It was crazy.
It's terrible.
It was live action.
I didn't like
Do you know
it.
the Banana Splits?
Never heard of it.
Look it up and have a nice nightmare.
They were Bingo, Fleagle, Drooper, and Snork. They were
All right, wait.
kind
Yeah,
of
write
like
that down.
amusement park mascot thing, costume things, you know. And
Furries.
it was live action. They ran around and they fell down and they bonked each other over the head, and there were sound effects, like crazy silliness. And then they would show cartoons in between. There was Arabian Nights. And Three Musketeers, and then there was the other one live action, Danger Island. Remember we saw that on
Danger
the
Island, yeah.
I don't know. That show was all over the place. It was crazy.
Probably has something to do with organics.
Possibly.
70s people.
Or being 6 years old, one
That's true,
or the
too.
other. Yeah.
Yep, so we're breaking down.
So one more thing before we go. Got to plug myself. Plug. Natalie and I are going to be at the Baltimore Comic-Con at the American Mythology booth. And we're going to have some stuff there, and they're going to have some stuff there, and we're going to be doing some stuff and stuff. So if you're in Baltimore and you're at the convention, stop at the table and say, "Hey, you're Haunt Squad." And we'll say, "Don't know what you're talking about."
No, I'm Mike Wolfer. I don't know who you're talking about.
So that's going to be this coming weekend, September 25th through 27th. Wait a minute. Oh, we're not going to be here because of the damn meteor comet. Dang. Well, buy tickets anyhow.
Yeah, who cares?
Stay spooky.
Good evening. Tonight on It's the Mind, we examine the phenomenon of déjà vu. That strange feeling we sometimes get